I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that people are really good at solving their cognitive dissonances by convincing themselves of nonsense and truly, truly believing it, right? They don't want to be the bad guy who lies to you, right? So first they convince themselves of the lie, and then they are the good guy who tells you the truth. But people are really good at that stuff. I think Jonathan Haidt had this analogy of the rider and the elephant, where you sit on an elephant, you try to tell it where to go. The elephant ignores you, obviously, goes wherever it wants to go. And then because you're so smart, you come up with this amazing explanation as to why this is the direction you wanted to go in all along. So I think this is what most humans are like. We are really smart at creating post hoc explanations after our knee-jerk reaction that was basically based on some experience we had when we were 5. So AI and junk, two different paths here.
Right.
AI, I was kind of gradually sucked into it during my work with cameras, perception systems. It slowly started morphing into computer vision because that's what more and more cameras are being used for, and that's a form of artificial intelligence. Now, at some point, I had this crisis of conscience that I don't think the world needs more cameras. And I thought, well, what does the world need? What can I do that doesn't just bring me money, but that improves the world in some meaningful way? So I started looking all around me, and the biggest problem I saw was people are consuming nonsense. People end up believing nonsense, right? People end up making bad decisions because even if their processing machine is perfect, they're basing that processing on nonsense, right? And the saddest part was actually observing my parents to some extent, because they were the most well-informed people I knew when I was a kid, right? Everybody around us in the Soviet Union believed nonsense. And my parents would wake up at 4 a.m., lock themselves in the closet so nobody would hear, and turn on the radio to listen to Voice of America. And so they knew what was going on in the world, right? But today, even that method doesn't work anymore. And my parents keep forwarding me stuff that didn't really happen. I have to tell them, nope, that website was created yesterday. That's not even a news outlet, right? Nope, that's entirely made up. That person did not actually say what the article says he says, right? And so I wanted to fix that situation, and AI seemed like the right tool for the job because humans just don't scale that much. The amount of misinformation we're getting is so large that if all you're doing is relying on Snopes, well, for everything that Snopes can review, there's 100 things that they just couldn't get to. And even for the things they did review, do you trust Snopes? That's another problem, right? And so AI is kind of better because I can open the source of the model. And even if that model is called fact checker, okay, you don't want to trust it, or you're not sure whether to trust it, look at the source, look at my data sets. You decide whether it's good or not. There's no black box like with an editor at Snopes where you don't really know what their motives are.